Cool.
Yo.
Well, hi there.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 69 of the Faculty Lounge podcast. You got a dirty mind.
Shout out to my homegirl, Katie.
Shout out to Pastor Wilson. All right, let me intro. Episode 69 of the Faculty Lounge podcast. We'd like to welcome our special invited guest, Mr. Internationally known jazz violinist, the last of his breed, the best of his kind, Mr. James Sanders.
Oh, thank you, man. What a nice intro.
All right. John J over here.
Anonymous over here.
Somebody Breezy.
Yeah.
AKA Pastor Wilson, AKA Two Cup Breezy.
You dig. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. That's at DA Faculty Lounge. Also on Twitter. Check out youtube.com/Faculty Lounge. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. Share this with somebody you love. Share it with somebody you hate. Share it with somebody you're loving. Share it with somebody you're touching. Yeah, I'm trying.
Sounds
I think
good.
you covered all the bases.
I got it, right?
All the people. Share it with all the people.
So let's kick this thing off like I always do. We got a guest in the building, so he might give me something more than you two do. Okay?
Offended.
How was your weeks? Did you do anything fun? Did you get outside of the box? Did you get into the box?
Yeah, well, I was at Elastic last night
That-
checking out some
Elastic
music.
box.
Yeah.
Hey.
It was a good week. It was eventful. Long nights, short days.
Did you stab somebody, man?
No.
Who
man.
got robbed?
I had to call the cops on this guy. Man.
There we go. There we
Did
go.
you get some new headphones this week?
No, these are old.
Oh,
I already
okay.
told that story. That was a great story too.
Oh, okay.
So you called the people on somebody.
Yeah, man.
What happened?
Yeah, man, this guy, he came in
Stop snitching.
looking for donuts, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't give out donuts no more. And then he was like, he got irrational about these donuts, you know?
He
And
wanted
I
to
was-
fight.
Donuts can do that, man.
and I'm like,
fight about
he
the
wanted
donuts.
to fight me, man. And like, I'm sitting there, I'm about to make new coffee, so I got coffee pots in my hand, right? And dude's like 6'3", and I'm like,
Oh, shit.
You about to blender
You about to
this
bust him with the
nigga. You
decaf?
about to
Yeah.
blender this nigga.
like, I'm like, man, just leave, man.
Did
Like,
we just take it to
About to
McDonald's?
bust him with the Colombian roast, my
oh
nigga?
yeah, that was
we just-
crazy. Y'all seen the McDonald's thing, right?
Nah.
Oh.
The girl got hit in the face with the blender.
Right. I seen the
Yeah.
thumbnail. I ain't watched the video. I don't
Oh,
want that
yeah.
karma in my life.
I didn't watch the video. I don't want to
So,
watch that
so
video.
just I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What kind of donuts were these?
They're garbage donuts. They're the 24-hour donuts. They've been there for 24 hours, and I got to throw them in the garbage, you know? And I got in trouble for giving them away, so I stopped doing this like 3
You probably
months
could have
ago.
hit him with the donuts.
Right, hit that
See,
would've
but the
fell
donuts
out.
are still good after 24 hours.
It's a climate you
They're
created, my
still
brother.
delicious. Yeah, you know? Like, this is
You
my,
spoiling the people.
this is one of my creations that needs to, like, die already. And, like, yeah, it was I hate calling
Has the
police.
donut boss retired?
Yeah, definitely. But I hate calling the police just because I know it's a high crime area and they busy doing other stuff.
And the
And as
backstory
soon
is
as
that
I-
you used to give out donuts
Yeah.
and then got in trouble.
Yeah, you know.
In case somebody,
So
So you can get arrested for wasting the police time.
no, I can't get arrested for wasting the police time. But like as soon as I pick up the phone, the perp always walks away.
Pretty
You know what
much.
I'm saying? Like it's like 911.
Ain't nothing
Right.
gonna, ain't nothing
we
gonna
even.
come from
Right,
this
right,
shit.
right.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like a waste of time for them. It's a waste of time for me, but at the same time, it helps me get.
You
back
should have
to
hit him
work.
with that
You don't wanna be
decaf.
like
I
man.
wanted to, man.
The
so
boy,
bad.
the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah, you know?
It's like nobody will believe you after a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was a.
TCB,
Hey.
2 Cup Breezy.
Oh,
week-
I
the-
like that. I
the
like
week was
that.
solid, man.
I'm
The
on my
week-
shit.
The week was solid. I got an MRI this week for my knee,
Yeah,
Oh,
big dog
uh,
status.
all right.
torn meniscus.
Mhm.
So we gonna see what the process is on that. The kids came back. You know, the strike is over, so
Yeah,
that was cool.
yeah,
yeah.
Missed the baby.
Went to work on
staff.
Friday. Yeah.
And then yesterday, I went to therapy. This was my first therapy session.
Oh, she's
it's-
like Omar Epson loving
I-
basketball.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy. I went to therapy because I kind of got some PTSD from a car accident I was in. And then we was just talking. And let me tell you something. When you get to talking, you just get to talking.
Yo,
So
and the Wilson came out.
Man, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild. But it was lit. Therapy is lit. I will be continuing that in my life for sure.
For the foreseeable future.
Okay. And
Okay.
that's pretty much it, man. We back in here, so it's lit.
Good money. Good money.
Oh, my child got a whooping this week, y'all.
Oh man.
You had to. You.
I didn't have to do it. 'Cause I'm emotional.
There was some whoopings being done though.
Yes.
Man, well, what did he do though?
He was cursing.
Oh
Ah.
yeah.
He was cursing, and he knows better. And
I
he-
mean,
no.
no. I'm
This
just.
man-
What I was gonna say was, if it's one thing that deserves punishment, it's rude behavior.
Yeah.
Rude behavior.
If
yeah.
you being rude, you deserve what you get.
Yeah,
Like
'Cause-
being rude to get you punched in the face.
because I ain't gonna
Yep.
lie. When my son curses, I just be like, hey, don't say that at school. Don't say that in front of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
But you said it right.
Be like,
It ain't
nah.
what you say, it's who you said it to and who seen you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
nah, don't say it. We gonna rip your lips off and
Yeah.
take your tongue out.
Uh-huh.
That's good, man. Passing some discipline around to the youth them.
Hey,
It's a
discipline.
thing.
Discipline is necessary, man.
Yeah.
You
Super.
gotta have discipline. man.
Absolutely.
You gotta have somebody you look up to and listen to. You know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get a lot further.
With
they
or
say
without the physical discipline.
they
One
say-
of each is perfect.
if you want to get there fast, go by yourself. If you want to get there, damn, I forgot. If you want to get there something else.
Hey, let's keep this thing going, baby. So,
This accent is so offensive.
look, I'm terrible at accents,
Hey man, black don't stop.
Exactly. I don't even know. I might be. All right. So you talking about my accent might be offensive to me.
Maybe.
Let me find out I'm Jamaican tomorrow. But it's beef patties and goat milk
This
for
guy.
everybody.
This guy,
Okay.
Bumba Clyde.
Look, so I had a pretty I had a wonderful week, man. You know what happened to me yesterday?
I
What
was just
happened,
looking-
man?
I got drunk yesterday.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sober October is over.
Oh yeah. So I was waiting. I was waiting for the phone call, the text message, the video on Instagram.
Oh,
or-
about Movember?
Yeah.
All right.
Because if you would have texted me, I did it.
You would have did it.
I would have done it. I was ready, man. Because
So-
October 29th, 30th, and 31st, I thought about it. I'm like, all right, man, if he does it, I'm
So the reason why I didn't cut my beard for Movember is because when I did my registration, I found out that you don't necessarily have to cut it to participate. So I'm gonna fundraise in a different way. I'm gonna be doing miles. So I'll be taking pledges for miles, and I'll be hitting miles all month long. So you could pledge like a dime a mile or a quarter a mile or something like that, and tally up my miles at the end of the month.
miles. So what are you gonna run? Or?
Yeah, running.
So how many? So for every mile,
You give me one dime or one quarter or whatever you choose to pledge.
so I can get you to run 10 miles for $1.
Yeah, pretty much. See, I'm
I got
Here's
dollar.
$5, right?
boom. All right, this is Movember magic right here, people. All right,
Yeah,
so
I need 50.
I got you. So look, this is my plan. I'm planning to make this money on volume. You know what I'm saying? So if I get enough people to give me $1 for 10 miles, like if
Yeah.
50 people is giving me $1 for 10 miles, then I just made,
Yeah.
so
You
that's
might not
whatever
even have
amount
to
of money
work,
comes
man.
from.
You,
I mean-
you might just be able to get out,
You know what
run.
I'm saying? So, but it's for a good cause. For those of y'all that don't know
Yeah.
what Movember is, it's when we raise awareness for conditions that affect men in the world. So that is prostate cancer, that is testicular cancer, and that is
Cancers, mental health
and that is
issues.
men's mental health issues. So the Movember Foundation specifically is how I was put on to Movember. And last year I shaved my beard off
Yeah,
and
you
rocked the mustache the whole
That was
month.
such a hard month, y'all.
Now you know what? You can say it's a hard month, but imagine the guy that just found out he got prostate cancer.
That's a hard
Nothing's
month.
harder than that.
Yeah.
So it was well worth it.
Hey man, the way you talk about this, like I really feel like you mean it.
Yeah.
And you,
I thought you was gonna say you feel like participating.
no.
I really feel like I'm not gonna do that shit, but I feel you.
I feel you, dog.
Right.
I feel you,
I'm
dog.
here in spirit.
Maybe you could get a treadmill at the job. You know?
Man.
You know, so I just said, you know, with my regular.
But isn't it kind of cold to run? I mean,
No, I could do it in the gym, just treadmill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Treadmill.
I can do treadmill, and it's like, man, if I stay on there for an hour, I can get like 5 miles in, you know, something like that, and just do it the whole month and see what happens. You know, so yeah, visit Movember.com for details. But that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about my week. I got drunk because Sober October is over. I had a nice pour of bourbon. You wouldn't believe it, man. It was delicious. And my guy called me. He was like, man, I need you to come give me a jump. I was like, all right, I'm on the way. And I was like, wait. Sober October is over, man. I'm drunk. I'm not going nowhere. So I sat back, watched some boxing. And you know what I did after that?
Oh, the Canelo fight?
I fell asleep. Vibes. And I passed a very important test. I won't say what that test is. Not an STD test, but it was a very important test
Would you be able to
indeed.
pass the STD test?
Absolutely. Flying colors.
Okay, just
Yeah. So I did those two things, and those were the highlights of my week. And I feel good about it. I'm going to have some bourbon when I leave here, too. And I'm going to start running tomorrow.
Yo, the doctor, the paperwork for the doctor, they're like, out of the 31 days in October, how many days did you drink?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, 17.
Mm.
And my friend's like,
You're an alcoholic.
my friend's like, Breezy, you gotta lie. Like, you can't say that because they're gonna send you to
Nah,
AA.
you have to. You got to tell the truth.
See,
'cause
I
this
tell
is
the
your
truth.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you lie about what's going on in your body,
And
how are
they
they
can't
going to
send
treat
you
you
to
right?
AA.
Yeah.
Oh. I was like, well, thought they
You
could.
got to go to rehab. You know,
Well,
yeah.
you know, if you get a DUI or something, they can.
Yeah.
But,
I got it.
but I don't think
DUI.
but going to the doctor. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
But I
my
think-
doctors are like, you have to not. And they're like, how much are you drinking? I'm like, sometimes a fifth, sometimes a gallon, like whatever.
Mhm.
They're like, no, like what? You're going to die. Like you tripping right now.
Yeah. Stay off the booze.
Yeah.
man. You got.
I'm gonna.
I'll
I
calm
haven't
down
drank
a
for
lot.
a week.
Well, I took a month off, lost 15 pounds, so I deserve.
amazing.
You lost 15 pounds
I lost
in a month.
15 pounds
and
in a
you,
month.
and you think it was
It was a combination of, you know, just hitting the gym in Sober October.
You were eating really well too.
Yeah.
You've been
and I
doing the no
super
carbs
clean.
and
Yeah. Eat clean, go to the gym, stay off the booze. Was pretty much beer. I like beer a lot, so I was drinking a lot of beer. So
and then, you know, after you have a few drinks, sometimes then you want to eat.
Then you wanna
more,
eat,
you know,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
That pizza starts looking good.
yeah.
Super fat.
you know, just knock that mountain down, baby, and stay in the game, man. Live your best life, all that good stuff.
Like the life you live in, or
exactly.
live the life you like.
Thank you, Breezy.
Facts.
TCB, everybody.
Y'all already
Fit,
know.
fit, fit. You got to get a soundboard.
Yeah.
So we got topics.
Yeah, we do.
Well, let's start appropriately. Like we should have started from the beginning, but
Yeah.
I was wanting to talk about weeks and stuff. Let's have a moment of silence and then reflect on the life and times of John Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Legendary cat, man.
Yeah, man. So I remember, like, in the weeks before my mother passed away, she rented the VHS of Friday, and we watched it for the first time together. Me and my mama watched Friday.
That's ill.
Yeah, man. That was, man. John Witherspoon, man.
So John Witherspoon, the first time I saw him was Boomerang. You got to coordinate. See, I can tell from that laugh, you ain't never seen Boomerang.
Nah.
And I can tell from that look, you ain't never seen Boomerang. And I can tell from your expression, you ain't never seen Boomerang. How uncouth. Y'all gotta watch Boomerang, man.
I think we got to do this now. I got to go home and watch it.
I got to watch it.
That was my first memory of John Witherspoon, and it's like every role that he played is like, all right, you getting a unique side of somebody that you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it went from being that uncle to being that granddaddy.
Yeah.
If it ain't your granddaddy, it's your homeboy granddaddy, it's your girlfriend granddaddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somebody you know.
Those are the facts.
Yeah, man.
I had them in, like, you know, the weigh-ins.
Oh, absolutely.
And then in, like,
was.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I would only get, like, you know, doses here and there. You know, I'm not a big, like, shit you into. I'm like, so
Right,
like,
I have to forcefully
you have
put you on.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never had a granddaddy, but this like if I had a granddaddy, I would want it to be him.
Mm-hmm.
He's
That
he's
was
America's.
the best part about it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
'Cause
got
he
one
whips
song.
pussy, and I do too.
You got the ox on?
Yeah.
Can I see the ox?
Yeah, man. I got a
You got a song too?
No, I did that song. Remember, off your ass, on your feet. Ain't no time to beat your meat.
Oh yeah.
You know? He was the whole inspiration for the chorus.
Let me tell you something
And
about
he's-
men.
And he's on the whatchamacallit. He's on the song.
You want to tell us something about men?
They're
Is it
fucking
about
disgusting. Did
John
you just
Witherspoon?
Hear this song?
Off your
He
ass,
said he
on
made
your
it.
feet.
Oh,
Ain't
it's
no time
actually
to
a
beat your
very
meat.
motivational song.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, play it for you. No, but Mr. Sanders, any fond memories of Mr. John Witherspoon?
You know, I'm not really a big John Witherspoon expert, really. But I was reading about the stuff he did after he passed away, and it's pretty amazing when somebody can become part of the consciousness of the country. When somebody can play a character that resonates with so many people. So he's obviously a great artist, and
I kind of feel like he didn't switch it up. He was the same guy in every
Yeah, he was
movie.
just the same as granddaddy and everything.
Because he was the same granddad off Boondocks, was the same pops off of.
Look at this nigga smile.
Bang, bang, bang.
I love the suits.
The Temptones.
We should be them next Halloween.
Be the Temptones. That'd be done.
Y'all want to do that for real?
No.
Y'all lame as hell. We can do that.
Hey,
Next Halloween, we are having the hip hop Halloween party.
we have to do something. I feel, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna start doing more events because I want to know who these people are that follow us. Thank y'all for following us,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
Appreciate
would
that
like
there.
for
Word to the
everybody to
tribe.
come out and create this email list and
Community.
get some merch and say hi, and give us the questions that you won't write in the comments.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Get you some Pastor Wilson.
Yeah, so
I'm not offering no Pastor
That was
Wilson.
beautiful, Elton.
so I just want to say, yeah, rest in peace to John Witherspoon. And what a lot of people don't know is that until he passed, he was still active as a stand-up.
Oh,
So yeah,
I've never seen John Witherspoon stand up.
yeah, it wasn't just film. I think John Witherspoon did Def Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Ah,
he did Def Jam.
I gotta Google this.
Yeah, but look up his stand-up. Man, watch his movies. Check out the Boondocks. Check out the Wayans Brothers. Many of his works, man. Some movies you wouldn't expect him to be in, like the less notable stuff. But, yeah. Catalog is deep, man.
Yeah,
The
man.
memory runs heavy.
I want to see. So I heard they were coming out with a new season of Boondocks, right?
Bang in peace.
Bang in peace.
Bang, bang, bang in peace.
Bang, bang, bang.
What we got up next?
Yeah, man.
So we was talking about Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
How was you guys' Halloween?
Yeah. So I trick-or-treated on 1.5 blocks, and my son was ready to go, and
Man,
I was
fuck trick or
so
treat.
happy
man.
about that. I was almost gonna be Batman. As you guys know, he had a Batman costume, a grown
Yeah,
man
that
Batman
was-
costume
that was
at his birthday party.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
That we
I've
purchased.
never seen so many Batman cupcakes and cookies.
And movies playing and
Napkins.
backdrops and
Right.
yeah. So we were gonna be twin Batmans, but
Oh.
I was like, I'm too old for this shit. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
See, you felt like I felt.
Oh, man,
Breezy,
you
I
lied.
seen your youngin.
You had the opportunity to relive your youth.
You know what I wanted to be, man.
What
so
was that?
It's so lame. I wanted to be a lion with Terrence Howard's face on it, so I could be a
Lucius
lion man.
Lion. Oh wow.
That
Lion
made
man.
more sense.
Wow, nigga.
That's fire.
That's fire as hell. Lion man. Did you get that off a meme or something? You made that
No,
up.
I really thought about this.
Shit, you need to make a
That was
meme
dope.
out of that.
That was dope,
What?
man.
But I seen Cho Young and Breezy wearing the
man,
Captain America costume.
because there's a black Captain America.
And when I saw that, let me just say, a little piece of me died when I seen that picture.
Because you didn't get the chance?
No. It's because I will never have the excitement of playing dress up again in my life. Like, that is gone. And to see the joy on the face of your kid, it's like, man, fuck.
You can play dress up, bro.
Nah,
It's
you know
over.
what?
You can play dress up.
You can do it, man.
You can definitely play dress up.
You got too much pride, like this ego thing. Your ego too big.
If you could dress up as anything, what would it be? What would it be?
Yeah.
Okay,
What would
so
it be, John?
Yeah,
so what
John.
I want it to be, look, so here's the thing. I'm not saying I can't dress up. I'm saying that
You
I'll
won't.
never feel like he felt being Captain America because he was Captain America.
He told us not to call him his name and
Exactly.
to only address him.
Like,
as
I still
Captain
got to
America.
walk around with my license.
Like, what the fuck this grown ass nigga?
So you don't think you could really completely become something else?
Unless we go to Burning Man. That's the only way.
Nah, I feel like you gotta hang out with Lil Elliot more. And then this guy's.
Oh, Lil Tone?
Everybody, man. My name is Elton.
It's all good.
But look. All right, so what I wanted to be for Halloween, you'll get a kick out of
your
this.
name is Elton.
I wanted to be Teen Wolf.
I'm number 2.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
number
Yeah. I wanted to be Teen Wolf.
3. Teen Wolf.
Yeah. See, you don't know what Teen Wolf is, do you?
Nope.
You don't know what Teen Wolf is, do you?
Nah.
He knows what Teen Wolf is.
Is it a comic book?
Yo.
It's
Is
Michael J. Fox. Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
When he was on the basketball team.
I remember that.
Yeah, I wanted to be Teen Wolf with the Letterman jersey and the wolf shit on.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't justify spending that much money on a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
That's like buying a wedding dress. Like, for the woman, it makes all the sense in the world to spend $10,000 on a dress. But for the man, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm going to rent my tux from the Men's Warehouse and take this thing back.
You see, but I like playing dress up. Like, I like going to the thrift store.
Talk,
and
come
like,
on, lay it on the table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
man,
I
put
go
them cards
to the
out
thrift
there.
store and I look for jackets, you know? Like, this jacket is this jacket is that, you know? And then I find some pants on clearance and I'm like, oh, this goes to, I didn't
You
even
go to
think.
the thrift store if I clear his pants.
No, I go to the thrift store and then I go to like Target.
Oh, okay. I
And,
was
you
like,
know-
nigga, if you try to go lower than $3.
You know, I mean, 69 cents on the
$3.
weekends.
Right. These
I-
pants expensive.
I've said that before, though. I have actually said, like, I'm not
Ain't
paying
no way I'm paying
$3
$3 at the thrift store for these pants.
Yeah, I've said
Oh,
that
man.
before. But, like, I like to, you know, be the athletic guy today and then be the casual guy tomorrow and then maybe even put on a suit one day. You know what? Next week, fuck it. I'm wearing a suit on the show next week.
But
man.
you know what? You know what the difference is?
All right now.
You can be all of those things in real life. I can never be Teen Wolf.
You can be Teen Wolf in the daytime.
Right, exactly. I could be Blade in the daytime.
Yeah.
I could be a vampire all day long.
Yeah, as soon as the night hit, though.
Last year I was a gynecologist
You
for Halloween, and then
So
this
elaborate.
year I was Pastor Wilson.
Yes. Do you know his first name? His first name can't be Pastor. It gotta be like Douglas. What's his first name?
Pastor David Wilson.
David.
You were close. Started with the D.
Dick him down, Dave.
Dick 'em down, Dave.
Down Dave.
Oh, wow.
We're getting off
Yeah,
track.
so
Yeah, man. So back to Halloween, man. Everybody, y'all finish your Halloween?
yeah, we straight, we
Mhm.
straight.
Okay, man. So I wanted to talk about the 7-year-old girl that got shot on 26th Street
Yeah, put me
on
on.
Halloween.
Put
Did
me
she
on.
live?
While trick or treating. Yeah, she got shot in the neck and in the abdomen. And
Oh wow, that's a blessing.
and the guy that they were trying to shoot got shot one time, you know, and it turns out it was a 15-year-old boy. Now there was a parent who was recording the kids trick or treating.
Oh, and got it on
That's how
camera.
they got all 7 shots on camera because
Okay.
they were just, oh, look at my baby trick or treating, and then you see these dudes running 7 shots and they all come running back, you know, and but it only took 24 hours for them to bring this 15-year-old boy to justice.
And by them you mean?
The neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the cops. It was the neighbors with the videos and the surveillance and I saw him over there and he pissed on his hands over there. He threw the gun over there. Like the neighborhood came to this little 7-year-old girl's rescue. You know,
Yeah.
like
straight.
if she would have passed away, it would have been like the neighborhood. You know, they
What you saying?
just
They didn't do enough.
like they did enough. Like
okay.
they avenged her.
Death.
You know,
Yeah,
her
you're
death.
saying that
Yeah.
in some of these situations, sometimes nobody's seen anything and because they're afraid of retribution. They don't come forward, and in this case, that didn't happen.
You know, but I remember like back in the day.
Hell yeah, say it.
I remember back in the day in our community,
Mm-hmm.
if something happened to a child or a woman, like you would have to turn yourself in, or the neighborhood would turn you in.
Or, and to add to that, you're not going to see no shorties that's supposed to be in school around the niggas hustling,
Yeah,
around the niggas game banging.
that too.
They not finna be out here hustling. They not about to be out here carrying no guns.
Mm-mm.
Because you going to get a pumpkin head if you ain't going to school.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen to you.
yeah.
What happened to that? What let me ask you, Jamito, what do you think from your perspective happened to community in general? Because that's what we're talking about here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of things are happening. I mean, there's the morale problem is really low. The big thing that I noticed is different. Back when I was younger, there used to be larger gang structures,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the gang structure would have rules, you know, and if they told you to stand down, if the Latin King said stand down, you stood down, you know, and they would control a larger area, you know. If people wanted to have a truce, you know, they would talk to the command structure of the different gangs, and they would have a sit down. There's this movie out now, The Rainbow Coalition, which is about the gangs of Chicago in the 60s coming together and forming a truce, you know, to make situation better, and they all work together. But now you have a lot of small block by block little tribal activity without anybody, you know, overseeing a larger area, and it's just chaos, man. You know, people are fighting amongst themselves.
You know what? I had a thought, Breezy. I want to get your take, but let me just say, I had a thought. I think a big contribution to beyond the obvious of, you know, the Chiefs getting locked up or however you want to state it. I think cell phones got a big part to do with what's going on in the structure of neighborhoods and gangs and cliques and crews. But
How do you say? How do you figure that?
all right, so check it out. Back in the day, right, for you to know where somebody was at, you either had to see them in person or know in advance where they was going to be.
Right.
Right? If you wanted to talk to me, you had to sit at home and call me
at home,
and I had to be at home to receive your call.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we doing until we all meet up at this place.
Yeah.
And the chief designates the place and time where we meeting, right? Put a phone in your hand. You got an instant access to a network that you creating, right?
Right.
So everything revolves around the touch of your finger putting things together. So you get a phone, everybody becomes a chief because everybody can give out orders.
Yeah, and everybody can put things together on their own.
So I feel, and you know where I grew up out west. So my thing was like, we had a lot of old heads. Like we had a lot of grown leaders. So it was like, that's why it wasn't no young people on the streets, cause like you said, like, bro, we not letting you be out here on the streets. I don't know what happened overnight. It kind of was just like this sweep, like all the chiefs just swept up and locked up. After that, it just became like a free for all. All these young cats, all these like 20 somethings and 16-year-old and 12-year. Now y'all just out here on the block doing whatever y'all want to do, terrorizing the people of the neighborhood. And you couldn't terrorize the people of the neighborhood when we had the old heads out, because they weren't gonna let you. It's a level of respect that has to be held. But now we ain't got nobody.
You know, during the Clinton administration, they passed the criminal reform, and that
is that the super predator?
That really increased the penalties for certain types of drugs, especially cocaine, and especially, if you could have a minuscule amount of cocaine, or so a lot of people got locked up under that.
Is that where like mandatory minimum sentencing came from?
Yes, and so that took a lot of people off the street, and with the very draconian, charges, especially related to, because it became like crack was the epidemic of the
Right.
country.
Yeah.
So that really kind of gave a law enforcement a tool to attack, the gang hierarchy, and that really kind of changed the structure of gangs, and
Yeah.
I think that's part of what you're
Yeah.
perhaps referring to.
But now it's like no rules. I can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, but one
We
thing
all
that
a
happened.
different gang. We just from different blocks, and we fighting each other. Even though we could be the same gang on 2 different blocks, but we still fighting each other because I'm from over here and you from over there.
Mm-hmm. It could just
One
be a
thing-
block away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But another major thing that happened after they locked up all the chiefs, they tore down the projects.
True.
And
True.
they dispersed all the project people all into the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
So now, along with the beefs that were already in the neighborhoods, you got new beefs with the project people who had their own beefs with other people who just moved down the block from them.
Right. You got project beef moving in the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's
so,
interesting. So
and no chiefs to talk it out.
right.
Like the chiefs are gone, and you got more people.
And jobs that pay living wages are like almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
it's-
in these areas.
Yeah, so it's like a kid growing up. He's like, well, how's he gonna, make ends meet?
Right.
Selling drugs is a very, very viable alternative. For
Exactly.
him.
Especially if you don't have an example of ends being met to look to.
Right.
But
right.
now, don't keep in mind though, this is 26th Street. This is
That's what I was about
another.
to get to next.
Yeah, this is gang culture, but a different kind of gang culture.
And
well,
that's
I played with my band on 26th Street in Central Park. We played there for about 12 years.
And this happened on Lawndale. This
Right,
happened like 2 blocks away from Central
we
Park.
played, and at the time, this was before the immigration crackdown. This was the largest economy outside of State Street. This is where all the Mexican workers would remunerate back to Mexico. They had all the they had
Right.
tons of businesses. That's come down a little bit because it's a hard time right now.
Yeah.
With but there was a very, very strong working class
Yeah.
Mexican community in that area, and that was like the State Street of
The Mag Mile.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
Mag Mile for
Yeah.
and so there's a history there where now it's like when I was around there, it wasn't to the point where there would be shootings on 26th Street. So obviously the situation is deteriorating somewhat.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, see, and that's, I feel like it's like you say, I think it has something to do with the phones, just being able to, but so this was just like a regular random street check. It was like, the way I heard it on the news is the little kid sent another little kid across the street to go ask the 32-year-old man, what you be about? You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, yeah, I'd be about that. And then he started running, and then they all took off after him and shot 7 times. And then they ran back. So it wasn't even like a planned attack. See, and I feel like if Trump gets his hands on this, it's going to be like, well, these gangbangers with their, he's going to make it seem like these guys are way smarter than they are. And they have a lot more technology.
vilified 'em.
Yeah.
And this is just like little random violence that people like are actually getting hurt in,
Right.
but yeah, it's not, there's no structure. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, we sent this 15-year-old out to do this hit on this guy.
Right. He was just out here on dummy.
Yeah.
These just hotheads with guns on 'em.
Yeah. Like there's no structure, and I remember when I used to drive Uber, a lot of people used to ask me like, man, so you live in that neighborhood? So man, when there's violence, is it really like I'm gonna put a hit out on this guy and I'm gonna like, no, there's none of that. It's just like, give me a gun, let me go do something real
much.
quick. Like there's no structure, no premeditation.
A lot
no,
of rogues out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like I got GPS and I got a gun. Like, let me go do something over there. You
Now
know?
let's acknowledge the fact that the guns come from where?
Off the freight trains.
Yeah, I was
They
gonna say
dropping
off the
them off
freight
in
train.
alleys.
Yeah.
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 Who's dropping them off?
If we knew the answer to that question, I think a lot of things would be
But
different.
A lot of the
Yeah.
guns come from states where there are very few regulations to sell. A lot of stuff comes from Indiana. That's sold in Chicago.
Yeah.
once.
can, 'cause
Indiana's
you could-
45 minutes away.
They got
you
a
know?
and you can walk into a gun store in Michigan.
Yeah.
You know,
So Michael K. Williams had a show on on Viceland, well on the Vice Network when they flipped to TV.
mm-hmm.
It was about like different underground organizations. So he was tagging along with a car theft ring. He was tagging along with a counterfeiting ring. One of the episodes, he was tagging along with gun runners. So he was showing the process of running guns from like Ohio into New York, down to Georgia, from
How
Georgia.
do people let them do this?
Huh?
How do people let them record
The
this?
show was
That's
very
not-
short-lived. he
Cause
got
he
off
was-
one season.
Yeah, he had like
Yeah.
hard crackers.
You
and
seen that,
everything.
right? Yeah. So he was
What?
showing how as a network they would snag guns from the SEC. I mean, from SEC. I'm thinking about football. From the Southeast. So like from southeastern states, and they would run them up through,
Ohio, you
New
said?
York, Connecticut.
They buy it like gun shows. And
Right,
things
pretty
like
much,
that.
pretty much.
Mm.
Places where you can get a gun without having to have a license, and running them up into these states and selling them illegally,
Or you could buy an unlimited quantity or so forth.
or a
Yeah.
certain type of gun.
yeah.
Because gun laws has gotten crazy. Like in California, you can't have more than 10 rounds in your clip.
Even if
Oh,
it's a
but you-
16-round clip.
But
They
you-
don't sell them. You can't get one of those in California.
But some of these
Oh,
places,
wow.
like my homie was doing like a little fundraiser for a hospital, and the hospital was auctioning off
Yeah. AK-47,
AK-47,
AR-15.
yeah,
It's
AR-15.
yeah.
I would love to have an AR-15.
Oh,
But there was a
I would love to have
police
one.
there was a police district somewhere in Indiana that was selling raffle tickets for the annual something raffle.
Yeah.
And the
It was
first
like we
prize
can't
was
sit
an
here and
AR-15.
question- Yeah, we
Right,
can't
the
sit
cops
here
are
and
giving
question
people
certain
AR-15s
Yeah.
in Indiana.
Well,
Bro,
it really is about the NRA, blocking, gun reform, and even if you live in a state where the state, even if you live in
She
a
was
state,
like all in the camera.
even if you live in a state where there's strict laws, but if next door,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just- yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Right.
I mean, it's just like being 15 years old and your next door neighbor's mom lets him smoke weed in the house, but you can't smoke weed in the house. You're gonna go smoke weed next door.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
But like I like to think, especially in this situation, guns don't shoot people. Stupid 15-year-olds with guns shoot people.
Yeah.
So,
And that was a big gun.
but
Like,
seriously,
you heard
though, seriously though, you know how I feel about the Second Amendment, and you know how I feel about gun laws, and that's a whole nother situation. We
how
can
do
get
you
into.
feel about it?
See, I don't. All right, so basically, I feel like you should be able to own whatever you want. Nobody should have the right to tell you how to protect yourself and your family. If I want to have a cannon off of a 18th century battleship in my house, I'm protecting my family with it. Who are you to tell me I can't?
Right.
You sound like Swiss Beats.
Well, there's an argument to be made for that, obviously, because you got a sort of situations where it's even been shown that someone with a gun is stopped by someone else that happened to have a gun. And when I've been in the South where it's open carry, people are very polite with one another because after all, you don't want to
I know
sit
you
around.
can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And so some people make that argument. I think the thing is the capacity for some of these weapons to cause death and destruction. I mean, was it like 90 seconds or 45 seconds, and how many people dead? And when that kind of firepower ends up in the wrong hands, then those are the kind of casualties you're going to have. So I think it's a trade-off.
See, now that's how I feel, man. I feel like there should be a limit on size. I mean, I know people who own AR-15s legally, but also at the same time, how you just said, 45 seconds, 60 people dead.
So
60 seconds, 110 people dead. You're never going to have 110 people running in your house to harm your family at the same time.
how you know?
Well, that's a great question. This is a great topic because I think personally that is what's at stake here is the amount of destruction that can be caused by one person with the wrong agenda.
So
Right.
you know what? This is my issue. This is how I can sum up my entire thing. Because I don't want to have a gun conversation right now. Because we can go on for ages.
Yeah, because
I'll say
I was
that
going to bring something back up.
when you put your rights into the hands of certain people, they now have the power to tell you what your rights are.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just like we fight to keep the First Amendment the way it is,
Yeah.
because if you put the power of speech into the hands of someone else, they can tell you what speech is, right?
Right.
Just like if
Can
you
I just ask you one question?
okay,
Okay, so what if you got some nuclear combustible material, and so you had enough nuclear material to maybe not make like a full-out atomic bomb, but like a dirty bomb that would
Right.
kill like 300,000 people. So what if you had this material at home, and they came by and they said, "Hey, John, you know, we really can't let you have, this nuclear material because it's too dangerous."
Right.
And then you say, "Hey, I have a right to have like whatever kind of material I want to protect myself." Would that make? I mean, I'm just throwing that out.
so
there.
I would say, first of all, if I have the resources to enrich plutonium in the privacy of my own home, I deserve it. and second of all, I say I deserve to have whatever the government got. Cause if the government turn on me and they got something I ain't got, I'm gonna lose.
Okay,
see,
well, I think
yeah,
we
and
can
see-
move
That's a
on.
good
Now,
argument
that's-
there.
And that's what the Second Amendment was supposed to be
That's
about.
what it's for.
It was supposed to be to arm yourself, to protect yourself from the government in case the government would ever turn on the people. That's what it says in the Second Amendment.
It's
You
to
know?
bear arms. It's
And-
to bear
and-
arms and not be controlled by like a monarchy.
Yeah.
Not be,
So what? This is 300 years ago, right?
Yeah.
That's a very short amount of time.
Well, I think they were thinking of like muskets and bayonets. And
Yeah.
honestly, I say that because I do not think they were thinking about AR-15s. I do not think
Yeah,
they were thinking
with
about
bump
rocket
stocks.
launchers.
I think they
or
were thinking.
Hellfire missiles.
I think they were thinking about having the same weaponry that their oppressors had. I'm just saying. If you defending yourself against your
America
oppressor,
versus England, and England had a navy.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. I think that there's a problem right now.
that's why I didn't want to have the gun talk.
A lot of
I
people are
didn't
getting
want to have the
shot.
gun talk. I got thousands of rebuttals.
Well, yeah.
Lastly, I'll leave you with this. So they did a gun ban in the United Kingdom and Great Britain, right? There was a knife attack and 9 people got killed in a
Yeah.
matter
Most
of
people-
seconds.
At some point, you have to say, like, the same way you deserve to have all this in your house, y'all got to run.
So look.
Okay, 9
so they,
people is one thing, but
But look, as a
how many
result-
people were killed in Las Vegas?
But let me
it
just
was,
say this.
It was a lot.
Let
It
me
was
just
like
say this.
60
As a
or
res-
something,
Yeah,
and
it's a
then
big
like
difference.
a bunch of
my
people got
point
hit
is,
too.
as a result, the United Kingdom proposed a butcher knife ban. My point is, it's not the weaponry that gets people killed.
Yeah.
It's animosity towards your fellow man.
Yeah.
It's
people
a
kill
people problem, not a legislation problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the very least, when you have
If they
somebody
had
when you have somebody getting the type of weapon that could cause mass destruction, they should definitely be thoroughly vetted
Checked,
and
yeah.
licensed to have that. I mean, and there's people getting these weapons that really even have a history of problems and
Right.
stuff, and they're able to get this. So something, is not adding up with that.
We
I don't know,
said
'cause
it
like,
on the show.
this
If
is
you want
America.
to, if you want to hurt, you're gonna hurt.
Yeah.
If
and
you want to shoot,
now-
you're gonna find a way to shoot. No law can stop you from shooting.
Now this is America, and America has an anger problem. Like, I don't know if you guys watch
He
the
was built
news,
on anger.
but there was this week there was 2 incidences of men walking into Walmart. One dude just pulled a gun out on a lady in Walmart. The other dude walked into Walmart with full body armor and an AR-15 on his back to test his Second Amendment rights. Like, people are just doing dumb, crazy shit just to do it.
And you know
think
what?
they always have.
You know where this is going to end up?
We just got
You-
24-hour
you-
news coverage now.
You know where this
Yeah.
is going to end
Yeah.
up? They're
And
going to
phones.
make some battle ready AI drones to control this shit. And there's going to be these robots floating around ready to take anybody out. that's what's going to end up happening because
That's
they're trying everything else, but they're going to say, okay, we're going to have a rock concert in Millennium Park, so we'll have a few of these AI drone robots fully weaponized to make sure, that could be what they have to do to protect.
But I mean, that's kind of my point.
We got to get off this gun.
Right. See, I didn't want to go here, but that's kind of my point. You can't stop people, no matter what you do. You can't stop people from hurting people. You can put as many drones or whatever you want in the sky. Yeah. If somebody gonna get that off before they get killed, and that's just facts of life.
So
that's
everybody
so
say
scary,
it with
man.
me. Guns don't kill people.
People kill people. Yes.
Well, I still think we need gun control.
See, no more gun talk.
So you guys, everybody knows about the students protesting in New York City, jumping the turnstile.
Oh yeah.
Because they tased They tased a 15-year-old boy for jumping the turnstile.
Right.
Somebody just jumped the turnstile right behind me like yesterday.
No, did they tase him or shoot him?
No, they tased him, but he was 15.
Yeah.
Like they tased him twice for a $5 and
right. They were
50
saying it was excessive.
Fare. Yeah. Like the taser.
That is a lot of fare.
It's excessive fare. Not excessive force. Excessive fare.
Yeah.
All of it is ridiculous, and I mean, if you've seen like Fruitville Station, you kind of
man.
It's always gonna leave a nasty taste in your mouth, and I feel like it's just always gonna be ridiculous. And we watch people get tased all the time and never recover from that, and to do that to a child.
Yeah, man. 15 years old is still a child,
absurd.
Man. I feel like, and I just
don't
feel
care
like
if you the size of Michael Orr. That's
so
still a child.
they tase this kid for jumping a turnstile.
Yeah. And then
and it's like
yesterday.
Why did they have to go to that? Why couldn't they? I mean, can these guys?
Could they catch him on
Could they
foot?
let him go?
No,
Because
not
it's
let him
deep.
go. But do they need that? Did they need to tase a 15-year-old in order to apprehend him or talk to him?
Yeah,
or
see, I feel like it doesn't make sense, man.
Something's
Like
not adding up.
I watched another video of a cop like body slamming this 12-year-old girl. Like this girl's 12 years old, and this cop's just body slamming her. She gets up, he's pushing her up on the wall, and like it was like a 4-minute video. And for 4 minutes, this grown man is manhandling this 12-year-old girl, and
kids.
nobody's coming around. Finally, like into the 3rd minute of the video, you see a teacher come out and like, hey, that's enough. Like, but it's already been what?
Been enough.
180 seconds. It's already been 200 seconds that this girl is just getting ragdolled around by this grown man who works out, and all because she took her extra chocolate milk out the lunchroom.
So you know what?
It'd be crazy.
It's getting out of hand. Like, black skin does not make you any stronger than white skin. Like, a 12-year-old kid is a 12-year-old kid. Just because this 12-year-old kid is black doesn't mean that he can handle you manhandling him. Doesn't mean that this 15-year-old kid can handle being tased 2 times and fully recover and go on to live a healthy life. Like, it doesn't. I feel like cops feel like little black kids are stronger than grown-ass men.
Well, the thing is, there's good cops too, and so I think we got to be careful that obviously there's something very wrong here, but just like in any job, you have some people that are qualified and do a good job. You have good teachers, you have good policemen. You've got policemen that have problems, and so clearly these people need to be taken to task for what they're doing, and how that's dealt with, I think, is going to go a long way to fixing the morale problem.
But where are the good cops at? Like, I mean, not in the world, in this train station. Where are the good cops that are watching this boy get tased? Where are the good cops that say,
that's a good question,
you don't need to flip this girl, this 12-year-old little girl? Like, where are those cops? Like, you got to hold each other accountable. And it's like, where's the accountability?
And that's what it is. It's like, you go and you beat the shit out this little kid. Then you come back to the station, and a good cop says, hey, man, that wasn't right, man. You shouldn't have done that.
But it's so
like,
many people.
What does that do? What does me saying, yeah, man, that's not cool, man. You shouldn't do that again. And if you do it again, what did me telling you, hey, that wasn't good? What does that do?
So
Like my words
It's
don't
like
speak as loud as your actions.
The accountability's not there. So.
So
Yeah.
allow me to play devil's advocate here.
Mhm.
All right. As I tend to usually do, I like to look at things from every perspective, right?
So you're gonna enter this conversation as a bad cop.
On the side of the cop.
No, the bad cop.
No. I'm gonna enter it from the perspective of a person that sees things differently than you do, right? Because you guys, I would beg
Words,
to say,
man. It's this.
That was
I
a
would-
good flip.
words.
Like,
I would beg to say that you guys are the majority as far as the status quo and opinion on these kinds of situations, right?
okay.
So just let me tackle it from a different perspective, right? So when we see things like this, I like to look at things in as far as they go as trends, right? So we've the whole way people get their information now is from
On
their
the
phone,
phone, yeah.
and from some people still watch TV.
Right.
Not many people read newspapers,
Yeah.
right?
This is true.
So when we look at the news, everything that we see has an agenda. Everything is agendized, right? So you remember when every day we were seeing somebody getting dragged off an airplane?
Yeah, I knew you was
Yeah.
gonna go there. Yup.
Do you remember killer bees?
Yeah.
The killer
Oh,
bees
yeah,
that were
yeah.
supposed to be coming in from
yeah,
Africa?
Yeah, I remember that.
You
yeah.
remember Y2K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of these things have their cycles, right?
Yeah.
So the cycle right now is racial insensitivity, right? Now, I'm not saying racial insensitivity is not a problem, but I'm
But
saying
it's
that
trending.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
trending.
yeah, and if
I don't
you've
think
given
so. It's
all
trending
the
because-
police in the United States and all these possible situations, if you're looking for a situation
You're
like
gonna
this,
find it.
you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Ain't really no
So what-
trend. That's
so
like
let me
what.
let me continue.
Okay.
I got you. I
Okay.
got you. So look, just like people getting shot in places that are gun-free zones are a byproduct of having the right to bear arms, people getting mistreated by law enforcement is a byproduct of the concept of policing, right?
Yeah.
Like these things are gonna happen. Police officers get fired every day, just like anybody at every other job get
Yeah.
fired every day,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
What we're seeing is a microcosm. What we're seeing is what they pick and choose to put out here for us to
That's
look at.
very true.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, because you always hear about that one time a week. You hear about that cop that pulled over and played catch with that kid. Or
Yeah.
that
I was
cop
driving
that
down
came down
Pulaski.
and got dunked on. You know,
Look.
Right,
or,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So we know where the hardest hitting dope in Chicago is at. It's on Pulaski between Fifth Avenue
And Jackson.
in Madison,
I'm
right?
going the other way now.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So when I was riding down Pulaski,
This is
The
useless
police-
information for you, man.
the police had Wilcox taped off. All right, on the west side of Pulaski, they had Wilcox taped off, right? So I seen police standing in the street. I'm looking like, what the hell is going on right here? They playing checkers with people that live in the neighborhood, right?
Huh.
So I'm like, I know this goes on. When it's a departmental thing, it goes on across several different departments, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like all the police departments are doing this somewhere.
Mhm.
But we see the negativity. Now, I'm not saying that the negativity shouldn't be addressed and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that when we become agendized in our thinking,
Right.
we tend to fall into a herd mentality when it comes to things that we feel strongly about.
And if you wanted to go out there and search for cops doing positive things in the community,
You could find
you would
just as
You
many.
may
find it.
find those
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
It's-
can find it, but I don't really be wanting to applaud no fish for swimming, and that's like
It's,
No,
it's
I-
not the police's
Nah.
job to play with you or to
Nah.
have
no,
fun
no,
with you.
no.
It's
It's
only
just
to
not
serve
your
and
job
protect.
to
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Like we talking about going,
beat me half senseless. Like I appreciate you being a nice human and playing chess or checkers with me. Like that's great.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I appreciate you doing your job as a police officer.
That's
I
not their
don't
job, though.
appreciate you. No. I'm saying like what's in your like job description on your contract. I appreciate you doing that. I don't appreciate you abusing me or abusing your power, and I don't feel the need to always say thank you for not shooting me today. You know, and I feel like when they start to post, like we see 1,000 videos, right, of like cops doing like crazy stuff, and then we get this stream of them doing nice stuff, good stuff,
Yeah.
and I feel like that nice stuff, good stuff is the world saying, well, here's what you want. Here's a sprinkle of what you want.
It's
To
like an
forget
abusive
about what
I'm
they're
not
doing.
really hearing that from what he's saying.
It's like an abusive
right, that's-
relationship, though. It's like,
that's
I'm
not-
going to
Right.
beat the fuck out of you today,
I
and
don't
then I'm
think
taking
that's
you to
what
Red
he's
Lobster
really
tomorrow.
saying. I
Right.
mean,
What I'm saying is,
I don't
Breezy,
think that's.
I'm not saying that this makes up for this. I'm saying that it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like while we have our feelings in a certain way, we have to know that this thing is happening as much as the other thing. And I don't think you can have one without the other. You cannot have policing people without shit going bad. With
Yeah.
people abusing their power.
Yeah.
Anytime there's power, there's people who abuse it.
Right.
You're in sports, you a coach. You know it's coaches that mistreat their players just because they're in a position of power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
People get picked on, people get did dirty. We need to do something about it. Yeah. But we can't condemn the whole coaches union or whatever
Right.
But
for
like,
for the actions of some.
But-
And that's the most dangerous part.
I have a couple friends that are policemen, and
I have-
it's a very difficult time to be a policeman right now. You know,
Mhm.
and I empathize with what they're dealing with, because it's like everybody's looking for the misstep. You know, and it's not to say that when there isn't a misstep that you don't have to have consequences for it and everything.
Mhm.
But it's a tough spot right now, you know. I just think we need to maintain awareness of like these news cycles as they occur, because they do occur. They do get sensationalized, and then everybody's looking for the next story that continues to feed that that line of thinking, you know, that's the trend.
I just
And,
don't. My thing, Breezy, and I want to say this to you specifically because I really want you to understand what I'm saying. I don't want, because you're a very passionate person. You're on fire for the things that you care about, right? I don't want our passions to be used against us.
Mhm.
That's where I'm coming from.
I feel that.
Yeah. And so I guess my last thing on this topic is what Kirk Franklin said this week. He said, as Christians, when you guys don't say anything, you're saying something. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, as citizens, as good cops, when you guys say nothing, you're saying
That's
something.
it.
True that. True that.
Yeah.
Man. True that.
I think that's what it boils
Yeah.
down to.
And the same thing for the little girl on 26th Street. When you don't say something, when you don't say anything, you're saying something.
And you know, to
You know, but
about no, you're correct. But about this time 2 years ago, Tyshawn Lee got killed, and the community kind of turned around and turned those.
Enlighten the people.
Tyshawn Lee, I think his parents or his father, one of his parents or both his parents were kind of like in the streets or whatever, and
Oh, that was the 7-year-old
that was the
boy that got
7-year-old
killed
boy
in the
that
alley.
got lured into the alley
Yeah.
with a basketball. Then they killed him.
yeah.
It's cold blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it kind of his things kind of got really sticky because like the city had paid for his death, but then his mother made like a GoFundMe and like bought a new car. Like all things got like very
Yeah,
like
that's just,
bad.
it got nuts.
It got nuts.
It got
so,
nuts.
but it turned around like I believe it was the community that came out and was like, yeah, we kind of got to snitch. Like you can't sit in my living room and you being a person that like killed this little kid and lured him. And the way he was killed, it was like execution. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 years. 2 years that just happened.
I just feel like so there's a lot of young cliques, a lot of young crews out here, you know. There's the Suwu gangs and the
Johnny Mob.
yeah, and the money making boys and the, you know, like it's just all these little crews. Like there's no more vice lords and chief of the Black Peace Stone Nation.
Right.
To tell these little 15 to 19-year-olds with guns and cell phones that, bro, you need to, if you do this, these are the consequences.
Yeah, ain't no violating no more.
If you kill a kid, you can no longer hit my blunt until you turn yourself in. Like I'll roll you a fat ass blunt on the way to go turn yourself in. Like, but either you turn yourself in or we're gonna turn you in. You know, like there's no women and children. And this summer we saw a lot of women in Chicago get shot. A lot of mothers, A lot of young women this year,
Mhm.
more than usual.
Yeah, we had a whole talk about women getting shot.
Yeah, this year was a really bad year to be a young woman in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's just no accountability. Like these guys that are shooting the kids and the women.
There's no code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
No
I'm
code
a
at all.
grown ass man. I'm not saying don't shoot men. Like, I'm saying don't shoot the women and the children.
Okay, now that you made that,
You know, like if you hit your target, if you're mad at that man, hit
Yup.
that man.
Pops
You
up.
know, but yeah, man, leave the women and the kids out of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the moral of my story.
You know what we
Yeah.
need right now?
What do
Tell
we need?
y'all what we need. Huh?
I got this album for my 13th birthday.
We all
preach
have
on.
this. We all know this song. Huh? Get ready
For a revolution.
Huh? What? Huh? Okay. Just needed a little pick me up. You know what I'm saying?
That is black household.
Just needed a little something to bring the mood back up. We fell into a dark place.
Good call. Good
Yeah,
call.
man. All right. So, to end this this week's episode, Breezy,
Yes.
what was the Facebook post that you read?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yo, okay, so basically,
I want to make it funny though. I'm not gonna be serious. All right. I've been serious enough. We talked about gun reform, man. I'm done being serious.
You really wanted to get out of that
Man.
one, man. You were sweating.
basically this lady posted, and we don't know anything beyond what she posted on this post. What she said was,
There is no context.
I'm taking my boyfriend and my kids on a vacation. My boyfriend is upset. My boyfriend is upset because I didn't include his kid, but I told him if he wants his child to go, he or the child's mother would have to pay for the child to come. Am I wrong? My thoughts on this? No, because that's your kid.
That's how I feel.
That's your kid. We just dating. You my boyfriend. You my girlfriend. That's your kid. My thing is when I bring up the vacation, you, as your child's parent, says, "Oh, for sure, I'm gonna bring my child too."
Mm-hmm.
Would
I'm
it
going
be
to bring
nice?
my child.
Would it be nice for me to be like, "Oh, I want to plan a vacation. Would your child like to come?" Sure, but if that ain't my personality, guess what? It's your responsibility. That's your
Yeah.
child. You the daddy.
That's a good. She made a good
And that's
point.
just my point
It's
on it.
It depends on my personality.
So
Yeah.
if you have a cold soul and a black heart,
Man, look
this
now.
is normal behavior.
Wakanda forever. Man, look now.
If you have ice running through your veins,
Hey, Kobe.
this is your behavior. All right.
Mamba mentality.
If you have tendencies to smack a hoe, these are your
Well,
feelings.
there's a few things that I like to raise here. So when you bring this up, I guess a few questions pop in my mind.
Right.
Like how long have these people been together? What's the nature of the relationship? Is this somebody they met last month? Is this somebody they've been with for 2 years or 3 years? Have they talked about a future together? Have they talked about having coming together? So there's some different questions that come into mind.
Right.
The reason why I ask and I think about it is when I met my wife, who I'm married to now, she had a 2.5-year-old daughter, right?
Mhm.
So it was like we went out twice. It was great. The next time she came over with the daughter, and she wanted to see how I was going to react to the daughter, because she was like, "Hey, this is a package deal. You want me? You got to have her too, And she said I passed the test, So that's why we went on to another date. But she was just going to clear that up right out of the gate, so she didn't waste time, if it wasn't going to.
Now, Breezy.
But now, all right.
Yes,
so
sir.
let me ask you. So after the third date, how many more dates, or how long would it have had to be before you volunteered to take her daughter on a trip, like an out of town 3 days in a hotel room with this kid?
Okay, so basically what it was is that I knew when she would have her daughter. It would be like every other weekend she wouldn't have her daughter.
All right.
So
all right.
I would know what
So you would
if I
plan
knew if I
around
was
that.
going to do something with her that she was a
Yeah,
mom.
all
She
right.
had her kid.
All right. See now, so now, I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for your kid. Like I am gonna pay for my kid, because I want to take my kid, But now that is, I kind of feel like it's different between men and women though. Like I, I would accept a man going on a family vacation with your kid quicker than I would accept a woman not taking her kids with her for your family vacation.
So let me ask you.
But I would also expect the man to pay for her kids if he said, I'm taking my kids to Disney World, But as a woman, like, she's like, I'm taking my kid and my boyfriend. I'm paying for this right here to go to the Grand Canyon. If he wants to bring his kids, that's, his responsibility, his pockets, But I kind of feel like traveling across state lines for a woman without her children is more shunned upon than traveling across state lines for a man without his children.
So this is my guy right here. That's the homie. So look,
I
right?
just got so lost.
Since we don't have context, right? I'm gonna bust this down into something microscopic. Let's not say we're going on vacation. Let's say we're going to the movies, right?
All right.
So I'm taking my kids and
Something
my
more
boyfriend.
affordable.
Right. I'm taking my kids and my boyfriend to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We going to see Despicable Me 4.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So, the boyfriend is like, okay, I'll come to the movies with you and your kids, but it's a kids movie, so I'm gonna bring my kid.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the concession line. She buys popcorn for me. She buys popcorn for her kids. Drink for her kids. Drink for me. For us to share.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now you got to buy his stuff.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that person that you dating when they buy your concessions, their own concessions, and their children's concessions, but tell you, hey, all right, now you got to buy his stuff separate from all of us. Now, don't think about the man and the woman. Think about the child who has to
Yeah.
get his stuff separate from everybody else.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of person you want to be dating?
Man, look, we ain't gonna throw it in the
I'm
child's
just-
face that you not involved
How
in
could
only
you-
halfway like
yeah,
your ass.
'cause-
As
Well,
adults, you don't do that to a
Because
child.
as a child,
but
you
the
really
child
don't
does
know.
Suffer,
No, look,
when people don't work this stuff out.
That's why your child could come if you gonna pay. We talking about it in our house. We talking
Yeah.
about it at our dinner
We
table.
did talk about it
We
before
not talking about it
chose.
at the movie theater at the concession stand.
So
Yeah.
my
Because
personal
guess what? If I'm gonna bring my child
Yeah.
and we're in this relationship, we break bread together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We break bread. What's it to you to pay for all the kids and I'm finna give you the money back?
Okay.
Or I give you the money before we show up. Or I pay for everybody.
Right.
Mhm.
So see,
Because we
what
break
I'm,
bread
what I'm
together.
saying is
I guess-
that's a terrible low level of petty.
Yeah.
You don't treat
Like, that's
children
No.
different in
extremely
front of their
petty.
face. You
No.
don't treat children different in front of their face.
See, you broke it down microscopically.
Like
you broke
if it was
down,
me and you,
you broke it down into an affordable situation.
Mhm.
But this is a
She
trip,
can have 10
you
kids.
know?
He can have one.
This is a family trip. Like, this is something that you don't do.
wait, you said
can't
it's a what? You said it's a what?
It's a
A
family
family
trip.
trip.
Family.
Family. Oh.
So
Alright.
what is the family?
Who is
Her
the
kids
family?
and her nigga.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So I'm part of the family, but my kid is not a part of the family.
Right.
Yeah. That's a sticky situation.
Bro, what's the relation? Look,
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
can-
Okay.
just
No.
because you've been
No.
around
It's-
somebody does
See,
not
'cause-
mean their child has been around you. Just because
Yeah.
I've had you around my kids don't mean
See, the
you
reason
have
why I
me
made it
around yours.
microscopic is because when we bring it out like this, we gotta have context to break it down.
Right.
Yeah.
If we don't got context, we just throwing stones here.
See, but I guess it's not. It's a family. The family is you and the child. I'm coming on your family's vacation. You
I
know,
wanna do that.
and you're willing to pay for.
Well, you know,
you're willing for me to
I
pay
do
for
that.
it.
I think
you know?
I think it's pretty simple. I think it's like this. Okay, if you're dating and you guys will go on a date or it's just a trip for the two of us, it's just the two of us. If you're talking about family, family means your kids.
All the kids. All the
Yeah.
kids. That's
Family
family.
means it has to. It can. how else? What else can it mean? So if you have a kid and we're talking family, then that means you and your kid. Then we have to say, hey, look, we're going on this vacation. It's going to cost $4,000 if we bring our families, and I got $2,000. What about you? Then you can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be thought of that anyone's kid is not part of the family, because obviously that's a problem.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would have to, if I wasn't able to split that thing down the middle, I would have to decline.
You would just say, I won't go.
I'm not going on a family vacation without my child.
family.
Or you could absolutely decline. That's fine. All she said was, if your baby coming, you paying.
And I think that's wrong.
That's fair.
That's fair. I did not fuck you to make that kid. That's your kid.
So wait. When we go on this family vacation together and I'm with your children,
we already done put the money in the pot in the debit card.
Let me ask the question. So when we go on this trip as a family on this vacation, I don't have no obligation to say anything to your children because I didn't fuck you to make them.
I could just let your kids run off the 8-foot side of the pool.
Yep. Is that what we saying here?
No,
if the kid is no concern, it got to go both ways. Right. It's not going to work like that.
That's hurtful.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be hurt at the end of that day.
And I think if you're in a meaningful relationship, the idea is that it is working toward that unity. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the conversation needs to be had in an honest way. We're like, look, what could you contribute to the situation? Let's say it's a situation where somebody's got a really good job and the other person's unemployed for a while. And they say, hey, look, I know that you're a little short right now, but I want to go on a family trip and, pay for all of us or whatever. And if it's a good relationship, then it could be like, okay, cool. Well, when I get back on my feet,
right.
Then I got the next
vacation
trip.
On me next time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like what you saying is because she was straight up, that don't mean she can be wrong. You can be straight up and be wrong.
You can be straight up and be wrong.
She just good with being wrong.
What I feel
she's
I'm
not
not
wrong.
saying that she's not wrong.
But I mean,
she said your child can come. You have.
I would say in these kind of situations, right? I would assume that if we going on vacations together, we've made it pretty far in this relationship, right?
Or this could be
our first vacation.
Yeah, this could be our first vacation.
But if you feel comfortable going across state lines with somebody, with your children, you got to be pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say what I said in the car. One of two things, all right? The first question I would ask is, if she don't have a relationship with your kid, I would ask why you laying up with her kids and you ain't never thought to bring your kid around.
Yeah.
And second, I would say, man, if she is serious about you but don't feel like that, the option of including your kid, if you can't pay for it, it's something that really needs to seriously be looked at. And if we can't do that, then we need to wait until we got enough money to do that. Then he need to find him a different girl, or she need to date somebody that don't got no kids.
I feel that. I feel that. But also, if you can't afford them, don't make them.
High five. High fives all around. High five. Yep. One more. Yep.
No, yeah. Like, I mean, I just feel like she's not wrong. I feel like your child could come.
Yeah.
You having to pay for your child is not a deal breaker.
Right. And we don't know the nature of the relationship. And we don't know how
if we don't have context.
We don't know how people talk to each other.
Right.
And they're, and she's certainly right to state what she's
and
thinking.
she stated in private. We're not having the discussion and the child's at the table.
Yeah.
See, but
that's a major part too. She's not
in private.
She's not hurting your child.
No. I'm not
saying this.
When I say wrong, I'm not speaking on how she treating a child.
No, absolutely.
I'm thinking about at this stage of the relationship, in my mind, where you at emotionally. It's wrong for you to be asking me to come on vacation with you.
Yeah, all right.
That's where the wrong comes in for me.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, money is money, man.
Yeah, I feel that, and that's why I said what I said. Like, man, I would suggest that, man, we wait until there's enough money for my kid to go to, or you go with your
without
kids.
Me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that because I can't enjoy myself without my kid.
Yeah.
That's a hypothetical. So what if it's a situation where somebody has one person has a lot more money than the other person.
I'm a package deal, baby. You can't get the milk without the cow. Huh? What? You want this good thing, you gonna have to get everything to come with it. Huh? You like that little thing I did, right? That's how I made his ass. He coming too.
It be like that. It be like that. I just
Episode 69, everybody.
what? Yeah. I don't know. Everybody kind of felt like I was wrong. Everybody's argument was the way to a woman is through her child. I think that's fucking wrong. The way to a woman's heart is through her fucking heart. It don't need to be through her fucking child. And that's why people be having anybody around their damn kids.
I've learned this.
Because they think that's fucking logical.
The way
I will
that
agree with
anybody's heart, the way that anybody's heart
It's through their stomach.
is through their stomach. Yes.
Period.
That's how you get to the heart.
Get you a little girl, take her, get some endless shrimp or something. She mess around and
This
bust it
nigga.
open that night.
Dave and bust it open.
David, bust it.
Yeah, it's wild, man. People, they be strange, man. They be strange. I got friends that have had like 4 and 5 niggas around their kid in 1 year because the weight of my heart is through my child.
Yeah.
And these people are just going to the movies, just going shopping, just hanging out. And you with this nigga 2 months, he around your child frequently. Now y'all break up and you on to the next nigga. And the next nigga around your child frequently. Then you got a girlfriend now because y'all done broke up.
Wait
now the bitch around your child.
To go on vacation.
And it's like,
Yeah.
if your logic is like, the weight of my heart is through my child, you gonna confuse the fuck out your child.
Yeah.
Hey, I would just like to take
There's gonna
this
be a lot of uncles.
time to shout out
And aunties.
all the single parents out here, but most importantly,
Shout out to all the
single
baby mamas.
the
Hey,
single
Fantasia.
ladies. All right, let's have this for you.
You are enjoying this aux chord too much today.
I really
man.
thought
Just a little
When
bit.
you said single ladies, I thought you was gonna play Beyonce.
Yeah.
Highly disappointed.
But you feel me?
Taught me how to spell.
Eh? Okay, I just had to get that.
I still can spell. That song was out for 9 months. and
When I
still
get
couldn't spell
the
independent.
when I get the ox chord, I like to go
Do
with
you ever write the word independent and you have to spell it as you write it?
If I ever have to write independent,
bruh.
that's how it sounds.
I was
in my
typing
head.
Yes,
in-
you like.
I was typing-
Yeah.
I was typing in independent.
Yeah.
I was typing in independent to search this song and stopped.
How do you spell it?
E-N-D-S-P.
Right. All
All right, look. So I
right.
wanna close the same way we closed last week. And since we have a musical guest and we haven't talked a stitch about music, let's close with
We just talked about
a piece of music. A piece of music that everyone should be listening to, that you've listened to this week. Let's start with Mr. James Sanders.
Oh man. Can you come back to me? Give me a second.
Yeah. Let's start with Breezy. I always
Oh
like to hear
no,
your
start
picks.
with Tone.
Oh wow.
Let's start with Anonymous. Let's
All
get your
right.
pick.
Fine. The one thing I've been listening to all week.
Mm-hmm.
Droga's Wave.
Okay.
This man Lupe Fiasco said, "Compose yourself like a self-aware opera."
Yeah.
What?
That man, you can't even call him the N-word. He's like on a whole nother level of understanding life.
Compose yourself.
And he'll
like
beat you up.
And he will beat you up with a katana.
Cut you so bad, you're going to wish he ain't cut you so bad.
And he knows guns.
Yeah. Shoot your face off.
Shoot your
And he from
Face
and he from out west.
Yeah.
K-Town bound.
It don't get no better than this, man.
Shoot your
All right.
face
So
off.
I've
Shoot
been
your face
listening
off.
to
He gonna shoot your face off.
off. I've been listening to a very confusing project. Coming off the heels of some rap songs, Earl Sweatshirt latest offering, Feet of Clay.
Is it better?
No.
Hey!
When you say better, I thought you meant is it more audible?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's less audible, which makes it why I gotta listen to it 52 times. Cause look, I look. Check this out.
Turn this shit off.
My innocence was lost in the east amidst the thick exhaust. Aki hit the horn and beat.
Lots of that going on. And I don't know what that is, so I have to listen.
That's a
It's
guy
super
who doesn't
annoying.
want to be famous, trying to get not famous.
I want more people to listen and tell me that
Blueface,
too.
baby.
So Breezy, what you got?
All right,
Blueface, you been
as
listening to
y'all-
Blueface?
Hell, put the hell to the no. So as y'all know, I love this nigga. The most disrespectful nigga in the world.
Hold on, let me guess. I know who this is because you say it all the time.
I'm looking at it already.
Future.
Yes.
Yep.
Y'all know I love Future. March
Ah,
Madness
yeah.
is my favorite Future song.
So
I've
you
been
are
listening to.
you a member of the congregation?
Yes.
Okay,
She
so
belongs
I've
to
been
the
listening
streets.
to like She Belongs to the Streets.
so
I've been listening to. I've
So-
been listening to Miss a Loss.
so
I've been listening to Hendrix.
Monster just
Monster
made it
just
to
made it to
streams.
streaming.
Yep.
So I fucking love Future. That's all I've been listening to. I hate hoes. I love Future. If she got an AP, she belong to me. And if she don't, she belong to the street.
Shouts out to Future. All right, Mr. Sanders.
Okay, so yeah, I've been listening to a couple things this week. One of them is
Give us some sophistication.
yeah. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
VJ Iyer, I just forwarded Elton. VJ Iyer, Human Nature. He covers Human Nature with his group. And Micaiah McCraven, Universal Beings. That's
Hold on, spell it. Spell it for me so I can play it a little snip.
A, B, C.
I just sent you one. I
Oh.
just sent you one of them.
INDE.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna play Micaiah.
and the other thing to check out,
Okay, here
if
we
you haven't, is the score to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, speaking of scores, I was listening to the score from The Dead Zone, Stephen
Oh,
King.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is VJ Iyer, the VJ Iyer trio, Human Nature. Get some culture about yourself, ho.
Yeah, man.
So this has been a groovy ride, man, and I love the trip. I'd like to thank our special guest, James Sanders. Thank you for coming through, man. This has been a rousing discussion.
Yeah, man. It's been a good one,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thank you, man.
You are officially a member of the lounge. Somebody get this man a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. You got one.
We'll be back next week. Make sure you follow us at The Faculty Lounge. I am at Chicago Fog.
I am at Anonymous,
I am-
ENONOMOS.
I am at _ somebody breezy clothing line, Westland and Cobain.
Tell us a little something about you and what you do and where we can find you, Mr. Sanders.
Next week, Chicago Sinfonietta, Orchestra Hall. We got an Indian concert. So
All
yeah,
right.
got tickets for you guys if you guys
Y'all
want to
go?
Yeah.
I'm
Heck
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we will be in the building. And where can they find you online?
JamesSandersViolin.com.
Okay.
All right.
Any socials?
Yeah, 23rd we'll be at Sabora Cafe.
No, like social media.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter.
What's
Yeah.
your ats at?
Yeah.
He done told us his age.
James James Sanders and Conjunto on Facebook, and James 4 Violin on Instagram.
Yeah. James 4 Violin.
James 4 Violin, that's a fire name.
It's a Michael Jackson song, y'all.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
Isn't that,
I caught it while you was talking.
Yo, this was
Mind
amazing.
blowing.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, man. Love you guys.
I apologize. Last week my social battery died, so I apologize.
Hey, man. Keep your social batteries charged. Hug somebody you love.
Charged,
Take your
y'all.
shoes off.
Yeah,
Put your feet in the ice cold ground, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Faculty Lounge
man.
Podcast.
If-
What time? Oh,
It freaking snowed
yes, it
on
did.
Halloween.
Yeah, that was.
Global warming is real, y'all. Okay?
More of that
Yeah.
shit coming. But what
Yeah.
time is it?
Time to get back to the students.
Double salute.
Yeah.
Peace. Thanks for listening and watching.